Hi, I'm Dr. Ken Erickson, developer of the ProMaker method and creator of the Step Up to Ultimate Performance program. We've already covered a little bit of the ProMaker method, and again, quick recap on that one, but it's ProMaker is an acronym for performance reductions occur when microscopic adhesions kill efficiency, range of motion, respiration, and recovery. So far in other videos too, we've covered in a little bit greater detail exactly what it means to lose efficiency and lose range of motion. Now we're going to go on to respiration. This is a biggie. This is one that's commonly ignored, and it's very important because respiration is exactly how your body tissues breathe. We could not survive if we couldn't breathe for a very short period of time. So we need to make sure we're constantly getting oxygen and nutrients to where they need to go, and we need to be expelling waste products. And that's exactly what respiration is. In every single tissue of the body that's living requires respiration in some kind. Muscles have a pretty decent job, of respiring because they have a direct blood supply. They have a ton of blood vessels that feed them. They can actually boost that respiration by having full range of motion, especially low impact movements of those muscles. That helps to kind of pump out the waste products and suck in more oxygen and nutrients. So you can actually enhance that a great deal. So better range of motion, better efficiency tends to lead to better respiration, even in muscle. But the real biggie is actually respiration of the joints. The joints themselves do not have a direct blood supply. There's no artery that goes in and feeds them. So how do they get their oxygen and their nutrients? They get it by sucking it into the area through body movement. If you move a joint just a tiny bit through a very narrow range, that's actually going to bring in maybe a little bit of oxygen nutrients just to the area where the movement is, but the other areas where you're not moving the joint are not going to get any oxygen or nutrients. So they're going to start to slowly die. On top of that, if you're starting to do highly repetitive motions like most athletes do, you're going to be rubbing that joint in a very specific spot over and over and over again, and you'll actually be wearing a hole through it. So when you have a very poor range of motion or ineffective range of motion, which generally comes from bad efficiency of the joint, you're going to actually start to degenerate the joint too quickly. In some places by not getting enough movement and enough oxygen, other places by getting too much sandpaper kind of motion to that part of the joint. Either way, bad situation. And then on the third part of that, we've already covered the joints and the muscles. Third part of it is going to be the nerve. The nerve itself has to respire as well, except it has a blood supply and a nutrient supply inside the nerve that travels very slowly. So it actually doesn't get a rapid amount of blood supply like a muscle does. It gets a very slow, steady stream of blood supply and nutrient and oxygen supply. And when that is cut off by either being trapped within soft tissue or not being able to have the full range of movement through the soft tissues the way it's supposed to, or it's not efficiently kind of firing and communicating with the body, you'll start to see that the nutrition supply to the nerve itself can go down. And just like watching TV over kind of a bad cable, you're going to see that you're going to have kind of a disrupted signal, both going from brain to body and from body to brain. Very important for that communication pathway to happen so you can be the best athlete you can be. Fast reaction times, full hard contraction of the muscle, quick relaxation of muscle when you need it for quickness and those kinds of things. So it's very important. So quick recap. We're going to do for respiration, very important for muscles, joints, and the nerves to get their full respiration. And they usually get those a lot of times from having good range of motion. And then a lot of times that range of motion gets lost by having poor efficiency. So ProMaker method helps us to identify where these trouble spots are so we can eliminate them and move on and make you the best athlete you want to be. So next up on the videos, we're going to cover the last one, which is recovery. And each one is building up to that. Poor efficiency tends to lead to poor range of motion, which tends to lead to poor respiration. And when all of those things pile up, you tend to have poor recovery. And if you try to train yourself out of a problem, you're actually going to create a real problem for yourself injury-wise, because if you're not recovering from your previous workout before you do your next one, you're actually going to create some big problems, and it's not going to add to your athletic capabilities whatsoever. So I will catch you later at the academy.